Dozens of flights were cancelled in the capital city and highways are temporarily closed in several regions of Kazakhstan due to weather conditions. Quarantine upon arrival. What measures will be taken for Kazakh citizens returning from countries that registered high coronavirus cases? Affordable for everyone. Kazakhstan plans to manufacture the most inexpensive cars priced at 3 million tenge. Kazakhstan is film set for world blockbusters. French, Chinese and Russian filmmakers will shoot their movies in Kazakhstan. Watch the latest news from the Berlinale International Film Festival. Ground blizzard, slippery ice and fog. Storm warning was declared in several regions of Kazakhstan. Dozens of flights were delayed and cancelled in Nur-Sultan due to bad weather conditions. An operational headquarters has been created in the city to coordinate the work of emergency services. The bad weather also caused the closure of highways. Due to the frozen roads and snowstorms, traffic for all types of vehicles was temporarily limited. According to the latest information published on the Kaz-Otojol's website, the red level of hazard was declared in the territory of Karagandi region. Kazakh government is discussing issue on returning its citizens from South Korea. The country's health minister said that the situation is alarming given that the growth rate of coronavirus has reached 48% over 24 hours. Yeljan Birtanov is confident that people who want to return should be brought home until the danger threshold is not that high. The list of the potentially dangerous countries will be expanded starting from March 1st. Kazakh citizens are not recommended to travel to China, South Korea, Japan, Italy and Iran.
30 тысяч наших граждан в Южной Корее находятся.
30,000 of our citizens are in South Korea at the moment. For example, 25,000 of them want to return. This is a large number. At the moment, we have nearly 7,000 beds in infectious hospitals. We are considering the issue in case if the number of Kazakh citizens from South Korea will be more. Other countries have shown proven methods to isolate this group of people in another way. We think that the home quarantine will be enough in most cases.
В большинстве случаев будет достаточно домашнего карантина.
The Oxford Economics Analytical Center forecasted that the world economy is expected to suffer losses worth $1.1 trillion this year should coronavirus becomes global pandemic. Experts opined that the negative impact will result in a reduction of global GDP by 1.3%. China would have to take measures to fight against the COVID-19 as it is the epicenter of the virus. The country has allocated $14.36 billion to fight against the epidemic. European Union has allocated more than 230 million euros. President of the United States, Donald Trump, has requested $2.5 billion to fight the infection. Meanwhile, the Australian government has begun to calculate the impact of the virus to its economy. Special attention is paid to the security and economic cooperation in the new United States Strategy for Central Asia 2019-2025. The U.S. Department of State highlighted that a stable Central Asia contributes to the increase of regional security and economic development. President of the National Committee on American Foreign Policy, Susan Elliott, emphasized the importance of through the C5+1 platform. Former U.S. Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice believed that it is necessary to expand the potential of cooperation between the U.S. and Central Asia countries.
Мы должны думать о безопасности и военной кооперации и так.
We must think about security and military cooperation. In terms of economic interaction, we have to expand the trade area. Kazakhstan and the US have a great potential, but the trade cooperation is not well developed. The most important thing is the security, since there is the terrorism threat and problems in Afghanistan. We should reach agreements to guarantee the security in this region.
Делать соглашения и так далее, чтобы гарантируют безопасность в этом районе.
Asian Development Bank will allocate over $2 billion this year to support 18 projects in Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan. ADB country director for Kazakhstan said that about 40% of the allocated funds will be used to finance 4 projects such as transport, infrastructure, agriculture, and green finance in Kazakhstan.
This year we are going to fund something close to $800 million. 2 projects are in agriculture. One is support to livestock value chain development program. The other project, which we are now finalizing these days, is for the introduction of agri-logistics centers as well as wholesale markets for agricultural products. The other 2 projects that we have, one is in transport again, and another project is quite innovative as well, is about green finance.
The ADB is one of the strategic partners of Kazakhstan. The financial institute has supported infrastructural projects worth nearly $6 billion over 20 years.
Kazakhstan's role in Central Asia for Asian Development Bank has always been very large for promoting sustainable economic development of Central Asia. So for example, we have a Central Asia Regional Economic Cooperation Program, CAREC, and I was explaining before about the roads that we are building for improving connectivity of Kazakhstan in the context of Central Asia. And only for road construction, Kazakhstan has been absorbing 70% of the entire budget that we've been providing for the region for road transport.
According to Giovanni Capanelli, this year the ADB will continue to work with Central Asian countries in areas such as trade development, tourism, agribusiness, and water supply within the framework of the Central Asian Regional Economic Cooperation Program. Kazakhstan's automobile production grew by 56% last year. The income generated by the industry is contributed to the country's GDP. Over 50,000 vehicles worth 360 billion tenge were manufactured in local factories, while 2,700 vehicles were exported. The country plans to double its vehicle production in 2020 and expand the sales market to countries in the CIS region. For example, a manufacturing plant in Kostanay plans to export nearly 20,000 cars this year.
Экспорт в страны – это у нас Российская Федерация.
We export vehicles to Russia, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Azerbaijan. We become competitive with the support of the government. We continue to have the support for our export activity, and we remain to be competitive abroad with the government support. The local automobile industry introduces its own know-how. The standard equipment at an automobile factory in Oskimen includes engine startup and security systems controlled by smartphone. The smart technology can also monitor the technical condition of a car. In addition, labor productivity has increased to 15% due to the launch of the technological innovations.
Это очень удобно, в первую очередь, для потребителей, использование мобильного.
The use of mobile application for the vehicles is very convenient to consumers. We are first in the CIS region to launch this project at the manufacturing plant. The automobile industry is planned to be further developed. The country plans to manufacture the most inexpensive cars in the future. The final cost of the cars must not exceed $8,000.
С учетом всей вот этой комплексной большой работы,
Taking into account all the complex, large-scale production work, we think that the goal of 100,000 units is achievable. Moreover, our new task is to produce cars locally as part of the negotiations held with the government. These cars will be produced at a low cost, meaning that the cost must not exceed 3 million tenge. Additional programs including car loans and leasing procedures will be created as well.
в том числе автомобильного кредитования, лизинговых процедур.
Experts said that the expansion of the range of light and heavy machinery will have positive effect on the growth of domestic automobile manufacturing industry. How does the transit of power in Kazakhstan and anti-Russian sanctions affect foreign policy priorities and relations between the two countries? The opinions of political scientists and analysts are studied by the Analytical Research Center. 30 Kazakh experts in various fields took part in a survey. The results showed that most of the respondents noted that the relations between the two countries in economic and military areas have been improved. Experts said that despite the modern challenges, the countries maintain the spirit of good neighborliness and Kazakh-Russian partnership. Last year, more than 92% of Kazakhstan's trade with the Eurasian Economic Union came from Russia. The neighboring country also has a high number of operating enterprises with foreign capital in Kazakhstan. The respondents also made a number of proposals to strengthen the partnership. Our experts suggest removing all kinds of non-tariff barriers to trade and economic relations. They suggest on the launching of as many investment projects as possible. In my opinion, the removal of the restrictions will be solved naturally. The next step is the facilitation of cooperation expansion between scientific and expert circles of the two countries. These countries also need to develop and implement joint circular and projects in various disciplines in the universities of the two countries. Caspian region countries plan to unite efforts of search and volunteer movements as part of the 75th anniversary of the Great Victory. Experts from Kazakhstan and Russia held discussions on the way of cooperation in Nur-Sultan. Director of Caspian Eurasian Center in Astrakhan, Ksenia Tyurenkova, said that Russia is ready to share with neighboring states its successful experience on implementing projects that were held as part of the Year of Volunteer in Russia in 2018. One of the leaders on development of the volunteer movement in the country was Astrakhan region. Many programs were launched while the number of volunteers reached over 16,000 during the previous event. 2020 has been declared a year of volunteer in Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan. The Russian Federation and its search movements expressed great interest to cooperate with the Kazakh search teams. I think that the search movements are a good opportunity for collaboration as well. Such movements include restoring the names and preserving the memory of the fallen soldiers. This is of a great importance to everyone who was affected by the great catastrophe and witnessed the great victory.
Познавших вот эту великую победу.
Al-Farabi Murasy book exhibition is opened at the National Library of Kazakhstan, dedicated to the 1150th birth anniversary of the scientist and philosopher. More than 400 publications as well as photographs and maps were showcased there. All of the exhibits covered the important milestones in the life of the second teacher. Viewers had the opportunity to learn the priceless works of the great thinker. The works of other scholars of the Turkic world were also showcased at the exhibition. The event will be opened until the end of the year. We plan to have a permanent exhibition. It will be replenished with the articles from newspapers and magazines, as well as new books. Under the Madeni Mura program, a 10-volume book of Al-Farabi's works was published. Viewers can view the book at the exhibition.
Kazakh film industry and its new movies have been presented in Europe. Kazakh cinema booth has been opened for the first time at one of the major film markets, the Berlinale International Film Festival. Representatives of the State Center for Support of National Cinema has held 150 meetings over 4 days. As a result, producers of the major European corporations, representatives of film funds and distributors have expressed great interest in co-production with Kazakhstan. Moreover, some companies are considering Kazakhstan as a wonderful location for filming. French, Russian and Chinese film directors plan to shoot movies in Kazakhstan this year.
Интерес огромный, потому что вообще сейчас в мире есть такая тенденция.
The interest is huge. Film industry representatives in Europe and the United States are looking for new places to shoot a movie. In this regard, Kazakhstan is the right place to provide such an opportunity. These locations are less expensive for filming compared to the European scenery. We are proud and glad to present Kazakh film for the first time and the opportunities that Kazakhstan can offer. First of all, there is 30% of tax benefits. The second is the fact that Kazakhstan has also announced the co-production, meaning that the international financial cooperation of cinematography is officially available.
То есть международное сотрудничество финансовое теперь возможно и официально.